April 27th, Sunday, John 20, 19 to 31. Today we celebrate the feast of God's mercy, Divine Mercy Sunday. The overflowing mercy of God for all sinners was shown by Jesus' death on the cross, where blood and water flowed from his wounded side. That is why 3 o'clock in the afternoon is regarded as the hour of mercy. Faustina Kowalska, a Polish nun, reported visions and visitations from Jesus and conversations with him. He asked her to paint the vision of his merciful divinity being poured from his sacred heart, and specifically asked for a feast of divine mercy to be established on the first Sunday after Easter Sunday, so that mankind would take refuge in him. According to the diary of Kowalska, the Feast of Divine Mercy receives the biggest promises of grace from Jesus in the Divine Mercy devotion. A person who goes to sacramental confession and receives Holy Communion on that Sunday shall obtain the total forgiveness of sins and punishments. Additionally, the Catholic Church also grants a plenary indulgence, observing the usual rules, with the recitation of some simple prayers. The devotion was actively promoted by Pope John Paul II. On April 30th, 2000, the canonization of Faustina Kowalska took place, and the second Sunday of Easter was officially designated as the Sunday of the Divine Mercy in the general Roman calendar. The opening prayer of today's Mass addresses the Father as God of everlasting mercy. God revealed his mercy first and foremost by sending his only begotten Son to become our Savior and Lord by his suffering, death, and resurrection. In 1984, the Time magazine presented a startling cover. It pictured a prison cell where two men sat on metal folding chairs. The young man wore a black sweater and blue jeans. The older man was dressed in a white robe and had a white skull cap on his head. They sat facing one another and spoke quietly. The young man was Muhammad Ali Agha, the Pope's would-be assassin. He shot and wounded the Pope on May 13th, 1981. The other man was Saint Pope John Paul II, the intended victim. The Pope held the hand that had held the gun, whose bullet tore into the Pope's body. This was a living icon of mercy. Pope John Paul's forgiveness was deeply Christian. He embraced his enemy and pardoned him. This is an example of God's divine mercy, the same divine mercy whose message Saint Faustina witnessed. Today's gospel emphasizes the importance of faith in the all-pervading presence of the risen Lord of mercy. Dear friends, we are invited to receive liberation from doubts and hesitation by surrendering our lives to the risen Lord of mercy. Wishing you a happy feast of divine mercy, Father Paul, CSSR from Kerala.